whatever. I then told the story on a podcast, and then his people called me and were like, you need to say you were joking. Like, say you're a funny guy and like you made it up for the views. And I was like, but I did not. I saw it. And he saw me when I came in.
YouTuber and social media influencer Josh Ostrovsky has stirred the hornet's nest, revealing some details that have brought P. Diddy under a lot of fire. The content creator recently sat in an interview and revealed certain details that, if true, would further dent the already soiled image of Bad Boy Entertainment founder.
I walked in a room I shouldn't have walked into, and I saw him like hooking up with a dude, basically like full spooning situations.
What did Josh Ostrovsky reveal? And how does it dovetail into the recent accusation that Diddy is facing? Josh Ostrovsky has joined the ever-growing list of Diddy's accusers who claim they have seen him engage in one act or the other. Since November last year, the Bad Boy Records founder has come under intense fire for essaying some women and men. Some have even filed lawsuits against the business mogul, with the latest being Rodney Jones RICO, who claimed that Diddy attempted to force himself on him.
I think Lil Rod was trying to save face on certain things, that he had somewhat of a relationship or he was doing some things with Diddy.
The rapper has been accused of sleeping with the likes of Usher, Clive Davis, and Meek Mill. However, he has denied all these allegations, pointing out that they were all figments of people's imaginations. But the allegations won't go away, and they keep pouring in by the minute. The latest to add his voice to this slew of accusations is Josh Ostrovsky. According to the model and influencer, he once stumbled on Diddy freaking off with a man, which shook him to the bone. On a podcast with Not Skinny But Not Fat host Amanda Hirsch, Ostrovsky claimed that the incident resulted in several threats on his life by Diddy and his team.
He basically had people call me and like threaten me and like tell me that if I didn't take it back and say I was joking.
And you still didn't take it back?
No.
Narrating the incident, Ostrovsky claimed that he gate-crashed a party a few years back and ended up swallowing some aphrodisiacs. The substances messed with his head, and he ended up wandering into places that he wasn't authorized to. This was something I've been talking about for years because it's now a documented thing that I saw him at a party in Miami. Some real black excellence-esque that I was not deserving to be at, but I went with a DJ. I took ecstasy and ended up wandering around on some mansion on Star Island. I guess it was his mansion. He claimed that the mansion hosting the party belonged to Diddy, and there were lots of men at the place. He stopped short of calling it a gay party, as the substances might have messed up his judgment. However, he did insinuate that the party attendees mistook him to be gay and kept asking him questions in that direction. It's all hot, black people, and then just one moron with an afro. They're like, whose man is this? On one of his wandering sprees, the 42-year-old influencer ended up in a room where he saw Diddy spooning with a man. According to the influencer, he asked whether that was the bathroom, to which the occupants told him that it was a room for guys to get down to their business. Days went by after the party, and Ostrovsky found himself on a podcast where he told the story to the surprise and dismay of the podcast host and their listeners. Once Ostrovsky's word got out, several tabloids carried the story, forcing Diddy's rep to contact the model. They asked him to either retract the story or claim that it was a joke. I walked in a room I shouldn't have walked into, and I saw him hooking up with a dude, basically, he continued about Diddy. Like, full spooning situation. Whatever, I then told the story on a podcast. His people called me and were like, you need to say you were joking. Say that you're a funny guy, and you made it up for the views. No, but I did not. I saw it, and he saw me when I came in. Yes, I was a little scared because everyone in the room stopped. I opened the door and was like, is this the bathroom? Everyone was like, no, this is a room where male celebrities hook up. And then he basically had people call me and threaten me. Ostrovsky didn't stop there. He also narrated when he got on a radio station and repeated the same story, but the radio station wouldn't air it. I talked about it on Hot 97 and they wouldn't air it. Apparently the radio station had Ostrovsky pre-recorded so they could control what he said. So, once he spoke about what he witnessed in Diddy's mansion, the presenter decided against playing it on air. Hot 97 always kept me on a pre-record because they were like, what are you going to say? They would never let me do a live interview. When he asked the presenter, Ebro Darden, why he wouldn't air the interview, the presenter claimed that Diddy was crazy and could put a target on his back. The presenter then referenced an incident where Diddy allegedly blew up Kid Cudi's car after the singer dated his ex-fiancée Cassandra Ventura. I told the story, and then afterwards, Ebro was like, I'm not gonna run this interview because Diddy is insane. Like, he blew up Kid Cudi's car. No, I don't want to get unalived by Diddy. But now, everyone just found out. Kid Cudi finally told the story. I've been saying this for years. I've been talking about this Diddy's S for years, and now it's out there. Ostrovsky claimed that Diddy was in the business of of threatening people who told stories about him. He referenced the many messages he's received from the rapper's camp for exposing him. However, he didn't appear perturbed, as his body language suggested that the music mogul had no power over him. Maybe he knew the music producer couldn't get a hold of him even if he tried. Some fans bought into his story and bashed Diddy all over social media for pretending to be what he's not. They explained that they didn't have any problem with where he swings, just that it is the 21st century and he should come out of the closet already. They pointed to the mountain of evidence against him, from Usher to Lil Rod, saying that it is time he put all these rumors to bed by being true to himself. However, a few fans thought that Ostrovsky made up the story of Diddy spooning with another man. According to them, Ostrovsky's claim that he took ecstasy places a huge hole in his testimony. They argued that the substances he swallowed may have caused him to hallucinate, seeing things and activities that were not there. They claim that the rapper probably thought he saw Diddy with another dude when all he might have seen were two dudes doing their thing in a room. The die-hard fans also indicated that Ostrovsky, in his state of excitement, may have mistaken a look-alike for Diddy. And since he was on aphrodisiacs, he couldn't make out the difference between the two men. Thus, they encouraged other fans and critics to take Ostrovsky's story with a pinch of salt, because the testimony of a man high on substances can't be trusted. Meanwhile, others claim that aphrodisiacs don't mess up with the brain, and thus the model really saw what he saw. If he had taken hallucinogens or psychedelics, then his story wouldn't have been valid. However, aphrodisiacs only enhance one's libido and don't affect one's ability to perceive reality. Thus, Ostrovsky's story is valid, if only he has proof of the messages that Diddy's men sent to him as a threat. Interestingly, this isn't the first time someone is accusing Diddy after they exposed the alleged shady dealings of the rap mogul. The first person to speak up about Diddy's threat was Wendy Williams back when she was a radio host at the same Hot 97 in New York. At the time, Williams claimed she had a picture of a man pulling down Diddy's shorts and kneeling between his legs. The radio host then threatened to release the picture to the public as proof that this was a legit story and not hot gossip off the rumor mill. However, she claimed that the head of Bad Boy Entertainment sent his girls, the R&B group Total, to come teach her a lesson. Narrating the incident, Williams noted that she was at work one day when she saw the girls from Diddy's camp downstairs, waiting for her to come down. Her work colleagues were also around prepping to witness what they believed was going to be a showdown. I got off the air one day, them Total B's were downstairs, and everybody upstairs at the radio station was looking down, egging it on, waiting for something to go down. However, Williams' boyfriend intervened and the confrontation was called off. But this wouldn't stop Williams. Eventually, Diddy had her fired from the station and she had to relocate to Philadelphia. Interestingly, Diddy's bodyguard at the time, Gene Deal, also corroborated Williams' story. The power Combs had with the radio stations in New York, people didn't breathe hard if Combs didn't want them to. Combs got one of the hottest DJs off Hot 97 because she wanted to put up a picture of him getting his pants pulled down, Deal said. Combs told Hot 97, if they didn't get rid of her before he got back in New York, that they was not going to get any music from any of his friends, any of the record label's executives that was cool with him. Everyone was going to boycott their station. Deal continued that the station bent to Diddy's demands, and before long, Williams bade them farewell. We was out in LA for about 3 days. Deal added. Before we landed back in New York, Wendy Williams was in the radio station in Philly. It was over for her. She was fired. Wendy herself spoke about her sack from Hot 97 when she sat down in an interview with DJ Vlad on his YouTube channel. The topic was homophobia in hip-hop, and Williams was just sharing her experience of what she suffered when she dared broach that topic in the 90s. There was a radio personality, once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. Curiously, Williams was one of many witnesses that Diddy had apparently threatened. One of such witnesses is an unnamed female lawyer who works or worked for Jaguar Wright. The story itself was narrated by the singer, who claimed that the lawyer only confided in her because she was sure she could help her escape Diddy's clutches. According to the lawyer, while she was working with Bad Boy Entertainment, she once walked up to Diddy's office for him to sign a document. On getting there, she found the door unlocked and walked in without knocking. She chanced on Diddy receiving some head from Christopher Wallace, who had come there for the music mogul to sign him a check. On seeing the men in that compromising position, she immediately walked out of the office and closed the door behind her. Diddy didn't speak about the the incident the whole day. However, the following day, the homecoming rapper invited her into his office and questioned her about what she saw the day before. The lawyer explained that she only walked into the office because she found the door unlocked and asked why the rapper didn't bolt it. This question obviously inflamed the CEO of Bad Boy Entertainment, who claimed that the building that housed the office belonged to him and could do anything he wanted at any corner. He reportedly told the lawyer that what she witnessed was him exerting his power and influence over a fellow man because he had the money. He then threatened the lawyer never to breathe to a soul about what she witnessed in his office. The lawyer claimed that Diddy hounded her in New York till she relocated from the city and state and sought refuge with Jaguar Wright. Thus, Jaguar sent a warning to the music mogul to stop threatening the lawyer and hounding her as he did to Wendy Williams. She told the rapper to concentrate on his business and the many women in his life and leave the lawyer alone. Aside from threatening witnesses, several victims of Diddy have accused the rapper of trying to intimidate them. One accuser claimed that the CEO of Bad Boy Entertainment forced her into sleeping with him, and his friend has been the subject of his threats. The victim, who filed a lawsuit against the rapper, explained that she and her roommate met Diddy and Aaron Hall at an industry event. The four of them got talking, and then Diddy and Hall invited her and her roommate to Hall's apartment, which they obliged. At Hall's apartment, the ladies were given drinks, which they believed were lined with substances, after which Aaron Hall took her roommate to one of the bedrooms. Diddy and the complainant also went into another room where the music mogul stripped her and forcibly slept with her. When Diddy was done, he went out of the room while the shocked complainant got up to dress. She had finished dressing when Aaron Hall barged into the room, pushed her onto the bed, and forced himself on her. Before she realized what was happening, Hall had finished his turn and walked out of the room. The distraught lady then dressed up and went to look for her roommate. She found her and asked what happened to her. To the complainant's dismay, both Diddy and Hall had taken turns in forcing them into acts. Devastated and psychologically traumatized, the two ladies made their way out of Hall's apartment, but the incident would stay with them forever. Meanwhile, Diddy wouldn't let them be. The complainant said that Diddy managed to find out where she lived and threatened her to keep everything to herself. The two of them then got into an argument, and he ended up choking her until she passed out. Apparently, the music mogul had also located her friend and warned her not to tell anyone about the incident. As expected, Diddy denied all the accusations, claiming the women just wanted quick pay. Many of his fans also stood by him, defending him against the pile of accusations leveled by the women. They asked the victims why it took them over 2 decades to file a lawsuit against their aggressor. They questioned why the victims didn't report the incident to the police to effect Diddy's arrest. The rap mogul's fans felt that the women were aggrieved that they couldn't nail down Diddy as a life partner. Thus, they decided to make him pay for the one-night stand if their allegations were anything to go by. However, recent revelations suggest that Diddy has some influence on law enforcement officials, which could explain why the women might not have sought justice. In a lawsuit filed by Rodney Jones Jr. against Diddy, Rodney alleged that Diddy controlled the officers in LAPD, Miami, and California. He cited one incident when Diddy and his son shot one man in the Chalice recording studios in Los Angeles. The suit didn't state what caused the shooting, but Rodney claims that Diddy and his son met the man in the restroom and shot him. Diddy then called a fixer named Fahim Muhammad, who also doubled as his security, to make the situation go away. Fahim then called the LAPD, briefed them about the whole incident, and directed them to the Chalice studios. According to Rodney, the police saw blood in the restroom but told the press that the shooting occurred outside the studios. He also claimed that Diddy told him to tell the cops that the shooting didn't occur inside Chalice recording studios. Interestingly, official reports of the incident contradict Rodney's version of events, which some fans don't find surprising. According to the official records, the shooting occurred a few blocks away from the studios and was the result of a robbery gone wrong. The records indicate that Diddy and his son were nowhere near the incident. 2 months later, the police arrested 3 suspects in connection with the robbery who were believed to be also responsible for several robberies in the area. The lawsuit stated that Diddy instructed his staff to always call the said Fahim Muhammad whenever they ran into trouble in California and Miami. So, it is understandable why Diddy's victims would have been hesitant to report the issue to the police. Aside from the stigma that is often associated with such victims, they might also have feared that the issue wouldn't see the light of day. They might have felt that reporting Diddy would have been an exercise in futility, given the power that he apparently wielded even over law enforcement officials. Rodney Jones Jr. is the latest victim to sue Diddy for S.A.ing him, while the two of them worked on Diddy's latest work, the Love album, Off the Grid. Rodney Jones is claiming that the CEO of Bad Boy Entertainment him and threatened him over a year because he had in his possession videos and audios of Diddy and his staff engaging in illegal activity. Narrating the incident, Rodney claimed that Diddy procured S-workers and forced him to sleep with them. He also detailed parties organized by Diddy, where alcohol laced with several substances was given to the attendees to drink. The lawsuit also included screenshots and photos of some of Diddy's guests who appeared to be youngsters and S-workers. Diddy then directed that these attendees be given spiced drinks and then made to engage in S-acts while the music mogul and his cohorts sat and enjoyed the show. Named in the suit were Diddy's son Justin, his chief of staff, Christina Karam, CEO of Universal Music, Sir Lucian Grange, and Ethiopia Habtemariam, former CEO of Motown Records. According to Rodney, these people effectively worked together with Combs in a RICO enterprise that failed to adequately monitor, warn, or supervise the actions of Combs, his son, and his chief of staff. A RICO enterprise is any individual or group that acts together to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. However, reps for some of the people named in the lawsuit have issued statements denying whatever the suit seeks to accuse them of. A rep for Diddy's son, Justin Combs, said that all the allegations were lies and had no grain of truth in them. The statement read, "Justin Combs categorically denies these absurd allegations. They are all lies. This is a clear example of a desperate person taking desperate measures in hopes of a payday. There will be legal consequences for all defamatory statements made about the Combs family." An attorney for Justin, Sean Hawley, also claimed that they had overwhelming evidence to the contrary and that Rodney's statements were pure fiction. Jones' reckless name-dropping about events that are pure fiction and simply did not happen is nothing more than a transparent attempt to garner headlines, the lawyer said. "We have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones' attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, have been ignored, as Mr. Blackburn refuses to return our calls. We will address these outlandish allegations in court and take all appropriate action against those who make them." The juiciest part of the suit was when Rodney alleged that Diddy had confessed to sleeping with Meek Mill, Usher, and Stevie J. According to Rodney, Diddy made that statement to lure him into his bed, but he wouldn't budge. Actually, the suit didn't name Meek Mill and Usher in person, but the footnotes gave hints as to who these people were. The first person was said to be a native of Atlanta who dated Nicki Minaj, and the second person recently performed at the Super Bowl and has had a successful Las Vegas residency. Of course, Meek Mill happens to be the only rapper from Atlanta who dated Nicki Minaj for about 2 years before the two celebrities called it quits. In the case of Usher, he recently performed at the latest installment of the Super Bowl and spoke about his Las Vegas residency. As soon as the story broke, several blogs and gossip sites picked up the Meek Mill and ran with it, forcing the rapper to issue a series of tweets to rubbish Rodney's claim. He wrote on X, formerly Twitter, "I'm from Philly. I don't do Nobody won't even offer me any substance because I'm that heavy. No man or Watt would ever approach me about gay activity, and the whole place don't get flipped. Woke up seeing this on every blog like they know I'm coming. Lol. Y'all see these rappers with gay styles, they want that look. Leave that to them. I come from that S surviving in the jungle. I have the right to say I ain't gay, and I'll trash anybody that play with my manhood. P don't control me, but it's like a high, one love to the gay people, but that juicy D do it for me. I done ran red lights to get that feeling y'all weird on here like devils." However, many fans weren't buying his excuse, claiming that he was just trying to save his face and his reputation. Some pointed out that this wouldn't be an issue if the hip-hop and the black communities didn't take a hard stand against queer people. As things stand, most players in the hip-hop industry shudder to be accused of being or BI. Some fans claim that that is the reason P. Diddy hasn't come out of the closet yet. Many still believe Rodney's claims, given Diddy's relationship with Usher. They even dug out an old video of Diddy telling Kevin Hart that he woke up on the same bed with Usher.
To wake up and, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted.
Once he realized the import of his words, the music mogul tried to explain the apparent slip-up away by using the popular phrase, "no homo," but the harm had already been done. Usher himself confessed in an interview with Howard Stern that while he stayed with Diddy as a youngster, he saw things that were meant for only adults.
What I was even looking at.
When pressed on whether he was referring to orgies and the likes, the crooner evaded the question. Thus, People have long suspected that Diddy and Usher had been gay partners. So many fans think that Rodney is telling the truth, given the many gay allegations that have been labeled against Diddy. Moreover, his claims that Diddy is threatening him fits perfectly with Ostrovsky's claims. The only difference is that Rodney has filled a $30 million suit against the CEO of Bad Boys Entertainment, while Ostrovsky moves from one radio station to the next with the same story. And this concludes today's video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.